Hi everyone, I hope you've been having a good week. This term in Impact, we're looking at some of the prayers of the Bible called the Psalms and some of the names or terms for God that are going to help us trust in Him and pray to Him. Last week we looked at the idea that God was a shield. This week we're looking at Psalm 11 and I'm going to read the first line and tell me, let's say to the screen, what do you think the name of God we're thinking about today is? Let me read the first line. In the Lord I take refuge. I'll say it again. In the Lord I take refuge. What do you think the name or the term for God we're thinking about today is? It's that God is a refuge. What's a refuge? A refuge is a safe place to hide. Some of us might think that our beds are refuge when you pull your duvet over your head. Or an umbrella is a refuge. It keeps you safe from the rain. What David, the author of Psalm 11, is saying is that trusting in God, praying to God, is like going to a safe place to hide. In fact, for David, it's the safest place to hide. In the Psalm, someone comes up to him and says, David, it's all terrible. There are so many bad things, so many enemies. What are we going to do? What can anyone do? And David says, mate, how can you be saying that? I've got the Lord as my refuge, as my safe place. I'm going to be fine. What is it that makes the Lord the safest place that David thinks he is a refuge? Well, the psalm goes on to tell us that God sees everything. Everything in the whole world, the world that he made, he sees it all. The good bits and the bad bits. God is pictured as being on a big throne, a king who can sort out his world. And because he sees everything, he can look after the good, but he can also get rid of the bad. And the song goes on to say he's going to judge everything that's bad. Every evil deed and every horrible thing like the coronavirus are going to be gotten rid of in his world. And there's a promise at the end of the psalm, which I'm going to read. The last line, the upright will see God's face. It's a promise. God is a safe place because as we trust in him, the promise is one day we're going to see him. Either after we die or when Jesus returns, we are going to see God. Now that's really important because lots of us might be feeling a bit worried or a bit scared at the moment. I've got my little Lego man here. You can think that he might be you or someone you know, or he could even be David in the psalm. I've got some Lego at home, and look at this. There are a couple of different refuges here, aren't there? Like, he could hide behind a wall. Look, you can't see him. Or I could even put him in one of these barrels. He's kind of mostly covered, if you see. But when trouble comes along, look. Oh dear. Lots of the things we trust in can feel a little bit like that at the moment. Like our refuges, our safe places, are actually not doing very well. And our little Lego man, well, he didn't come out of that very well, did he? But David wants us to know from Psalm 11 that trusting in the Lord and the promise that we will see his face and he's going to get rid of everything bad is a little bit more like this refuge. Now I'm going to put my Lego man inside. I'm actually going to sit him down so that he looks nice and comfy. Look at that. And look. Whoops. Well, that was two pretty big hits. And look, the refuge, it's strong, isn't it? Maybe I didn't build this one very well. It was very quick. David says that the refuge that God is even stronger than this. Look. Still hasn't fallen apart. God can take every blow. He sees everything in his world. And he is a safe place for us to hide in, because one day we're going to see his face. Look how happy the little Lego man is in the middle of there. God is a refuge. His people are going to see his face. That's a promise. And that's something that we can hold on to in our prayers, asking God to be our refuge, to trust in him at the moment where maybe we're all finding it a little bit hard. Let me say a prayer for us as we finish. Lord God, David says that you are a refuge, the safest place for us to be. Lord, you're even stronger than that Lego shelter. You do not fall apart at all. Lord, help us to trust you as our refuge. Help us to trust that we will see your face as we follow you and trust in you. Amen. Have a lovely week. I hope this encourages you. I'll be praying for all of you. God bless. Keep going. Trust in God.